Hello, good evening and welcome to Nationwide at 6 on NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi. You are with your number one destination for all the news updates here on the broadcast at this hour. Ladies and gentlemen, an action-packed lineup for you today as well. We'll first, in fact, speak about, what is it about JNU? There is always a right to protest, but these kind of slogans, once again, provocative slogans, what is happening? Why then this then derails the whole agenda that the student protest is all about? We'll speak about JNU does it again. We'll get you the details on that. And then later, it's now a googly being thrown by an NDA ally. Former MP of the JDU, KC Tyagi, has questioned the Bharatiya Janata Party and the BCCI over the Bangladesh cricket controversy with Mustafizur Rahman, who, after the attacks on the minorities, there has been so much said about this. Now, he has questioned the BJP and the BCCI. From within, there are voices coming in. So we'll get you those details as well. I want to start with what happened in the JNU once again, which is making news. Protests are part of any student life. Students are usually seen as anti-establishment, raising voice for all the issues, domestic, international. But there is a certain line that should not be crossed. Certain slogans that should not, in fact, be spoken about. After all, these protests are supposed to be non-violent. A political storm has now once again erupted in Delhi's JNU after a provocative anti-Prime Minister Modi slogans were allegedly raised on the campus. If you don't like the government, you don't like the policies, raise your voice. But making personal comments against the Prime Minister, wishing for ill for the Prime Minister of India, that is something that is not acceptable. The slogans were reportedly shouted during a protest at the Sabarmati Hostel on January 5th, soon after the Supreme Court rejected the bail for Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam in the 2020 Delhi riots conspiracy. Remember, we questioned this. We questioned the logic against this, the legal grounds of this judgment as well yesterday on the program. But should this be acceptable, ladies and gentlemen? And this is not the first time that it has happened in JNU. I want to just show you, remember last time, a few years back in 2016, when the slogans were raised, some, media channels also, reported it wrongly, attributed some slogans which the students did not. But at that point of time also, there were certain slogans which were seen against India, which were raised. And now, once again, in 2025, in the Jawaharlal Nehru University, union-led protest. The organizers were, in fact, the left-leaning organizations. And now, once again, they are under a question mark about the kind of slogans, and especially personal slogans against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which were raised here at the JNU. I want you to take a look at this report, and then we'll discuss this further.
JNU at the center of a raging storm once again. After controversial and provocative slogans raised by a group of students on campus on Monday night. This after the JNU, SU and other left group students organized a protest after the Supreme Court on Monday denied bail to Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam in the Delhi riots case. Both are former students of JNU and have been in jail for the last 5 years for their alleged role in the Delhi riots in 2020. The slogans raised included references to the grave and PM Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah's name in what appeared to be a direct message of threat. Some office bearers of the left-controlled JNU Students Union were reportedly present at the protest site.
Well, I'm just reporting outside Sabarmati Dhaba, and this was the very location where the controversial slogans were raised, and it was in between 9:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. where the controversial slogans were raised.
The BJP has hit out calling the students anti-national.
इन लोगों को कोई देश से, कोई संविधान से, कोई कानून से मतलब नहीं है। ये अलगाववादी लोग हैं। ये केवल और केवल देश को तोड़ने वाली बातें करते हैं।
ये कुछ लोग हैं जो आतंकवादियों के समर्थन में, नक्सलवादियों के समर्थन में, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के खिलाफ और ये जो दंगाइयों के समर्थन में नारे लगाते हैं, लेकिन इनके नारों से अब कुछ होने वाला नहीं है।
The opposition on the back foot seems divided and muted in condemnation.
विरोध करने का तरीका है, एक पॉलिटिकल लैंग्वेज है, इसको लिटरल मतलब नहीं कहते हैं।
व्यक्तिगत तौर पे तो मैं मुर्दाबाद के नारे का भी विरोधी हूँ और कई दफा आपके समक्ष कह चुका हूँ।
The ABVP unit at JNU is planning to file a police complaint over the slogans. The recent incident is a throwback to 2016 when JNU students allegedly raised Azadi slogans in support of the parliament attack convict Afzal Guru. The Qabar Khudegi slogans have become a common occurrence at opposition protests of late. Recently, a Congress worker raised the same at the party's Ram Leela ground protest. The PM had earlier snapped back at such slogans.
जिनको देश ने नकार दिया है, जिन्हें देश अब स्वीकार करने के लिए तैयार नहीं है, जो निराशा की गर्त में डूब चुके हैं, वो आजकल माला जपते हैं, माला, और वो कह रहे हैं मोदी तेरी कबर खुदेगी। लेकिन देश कह रहा है, हिंदुस्तान की आवाज कह रही है, हिंदुस्तान का हर कोना कह रहा है, मोदी तेरा कमल खिलेगा।
So, since when are these kind of slogans acceptable as far as protests are concerned? I want to very quickly go across at this moment to Shikha Swaraj, member of the ABVP in the JNU. I'm also joined by Vivek Srivastava from the CPI. Thank you so much to both of you for speaking to us. Vivek ji, like I said, students of course can raise their voice about anything. If they feel aggrieved, if the issues domestic, international, it is their right to protest. But the protest also has certain limitations. Speaking about the Prime Minister, Qabar Khudegi, once again in the JNU, in the presence of the members of the governing body, that is crossing that line, isn't it?
No, it's not crossing the line. And 70 years in this country, every party, including the BJP or the Congress or the left or the Sapa or the BSP, effigy burning, putla jalana, nare lagana, it has always been there. Has the BJP not done it? कितने पुतले जलाए हैं, कितने प्राइम मिनिस्टर, कितने चीफ मिनिस्टर? Should I give you a list?
पुतला जलाना और कब्र खोदना, those are two different things, aren't they? I mean, let's talk about sense. Nobody is objecting to their protest, but the fact is that you can't speak about, death or wish about the death of the prime minister of your country, whether you agree with him politically or not.
No. Please don't raise your voice. Listen to me now. If the BJP burns the effigy of a prime minister or a chief minister, what is that? Wishing for long life? It is just a political symbolism, and going into it that it is something personal is wrong. 5.5 years people have been in jail because of the laxity of the Delhi police. Today, the Supreme Court, when the verdict was given, the Supreme Court clearly said, if you do not submit and close your investigation within 1 year, the bail is assured. It is a slap on the Delhi police and the investigating authorities.
That's not what the Supreme Court has said. Go and read the judgment. That's not what the Supreme Court has said. They have only said they can apply after 1 year or if the deposition of the key witnesses take place. So please don't quote things out of context and try and make your point. You already are treading on a very, very, in fact, dangerous line here by in fact, condoning this. Nobody can condone these kind of messages, Mr. Srivastava. Sir, let me tell you one thing. Vivek Srivastava, hold on and listen to me one thing. Maybe you are used to going on channels where the whole mahal is that everybody speaks over each other. This is not that channel. I ask you a question, you respond, and then I respectfully go to the other guest. That is how we'll conduct this debate. This is not, in fact, a protest where you can go raise your voice and say whatever you want. You made your point. Let me get the other side of the view on this. Shikha Swaraj, This is just a political connotation. This is just a political connotation, says Mr. Vivek Srivastava. जैसे पुतला जलाना, मुर्दाबाद कहना for anybody is acceptable in the political parlance, he says this is also acceptable.
I hope I'm audible to you all. First of all, thanks for having me. And secondly, as he said, it is normal. It is not normal. Whosoever does this, it is not normal. Your language, the way you speak, what you speak decides a lot. There is a certain term called parliamentary language. आप उस चीज का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, and this is what describes you. अगर I have read, I have even during the introductory remarks.
Hold on. Whatever you have to say, you will have to say after the lady has spoken. Let's not speak over each other.
Maintain some decency, sir. I would request you. Let me complete it first. During the introductory remarks, I said this is metaphorical. Don't take it literally. Why should we not? Who is speaking? This is a legitimate, elected representation of student union members who were present at last night during Sabarmati, the protest that happened last night. This is my hostel. Behind the back of this hostel, I've seen people shouting slogans who are completely violent in nature, inflammatory, who kind of produce a disharmony in society and within the minds of students. What are we preaching? What are we practicing? And here on the television.
Shikha, but then the question that I also want to ask you, in that same context, there are so many people, those who say such provocative things. Jati Narasimhanand has been, in fact, speaking about massacre of certain section. The other side will argue no action is taken against them, nothing happens to those people. You are going after JNU just to put up, tag and blame these students. Shikha, can you unmute yourself, please? Can you please unmute yourself, Shikha? We cannot hear you.
Now I think it is audible.
Yes, go ahead.
Now I think it is audible. So what I want to drag your attention towards is what they're saying about. At the very beginning you said one line that there is very thin line of demarcation between by being against the state or against the government. What these students, or I would say left cadres over here, this is not entire JNU. I would like to clarify that. This is not entirely the entire population of JNU. This is just 5 to 7% of the population over here who are just activists inclined to different left-wing organizations in this campus who are running this propaganda and entirely responsible for defaming JNU since 2016.
Okay, let Vivek respond to what you're saying. Vivek, the question is, and like I asked, then it will be the same thing. With what face will you go and speak about the provocative statements which are made by fringe elements or certain individuals? Then you you come out and make the argument that there is no action taken against them. If you condone this, then with what face will you in fact speak about that?
No, I believe we are going in for an exaggeration over here. Something wrong has happened with some people of the minority communities. Either the police should have submitted its report on time. It was delayed 4 to 5 years. I mean, here every media personnel and journalist from the right-wing side clearly says Umar Khalid is wrong because of this. And if it is such an open and shut case, why did the judiciary of this nation did not pronounce him guilty, sentence him to whatever punishment is due as per the Constitution?
Vivek, let's not get into that. We can talk about the merits of the case and why there has been a 5-year delay. The trial has to start in that case, but I am asking you about this whole propensity. Why unnecessary? You can protest. You are making a lot of noise about whatever you want. It is your right. But by making these statements, don't you think that the students also walk into this trap? There is labeling of the JNU only because some of them speak like that.
No, there's nothing wrong in what they've spoken. The Prime Minister and the Home Minister of the country are the father figures of this nation. For you, me, and the students. When the Delhi's police, which reports to the Home Minister,
then speak about Qabar khudegi for their father figures. Who wants to say that?
Now. You are intervening, not letting me speak now, sir.
No, but I'm just asking you. Yes, I am. I'm sorry, but I'm just asking you. You are very right. You said they are father figures. Who wants to then Qabar khudegi for their father figures?
When the father figures become unjust, when they start discriminating on the basis of religion, when deliberately for 4 to 5 years the Delhi police does not close the case and the Home Minister sleeps over it, what are the citizens supposed to do? And my constitution
So
allows me
protest,
the
raise
permission
your
for
voice,
provocative
but then why are you wanting them dead? Why is this whole Qabar khudegi nuance? That's the problem. That language cannot be condoned. And what it does is it takes away the genuine rights of the students to protest, because the focus becomes on these limited slogans.
To cover up the laxity, the crime, the bad work of the police and the prosecuting agencies of this country, we are picking up 10 बच्चों की एक छोटी सी मिस्टेक, और मिस्टेक भी नहीं है क्योंकि इस मुल्क के अंदर पुतले जलाने और इस तरह के शब्दों का इस्तेमाल सब पार्टियों ने किया है, तो हम क्लीन चिट दे रहे हैं।
हम उसको ठीक मान लें। अगर वो ठीक नहीं है तो इसको ठीक मान लें। कहीं ना कहीं आपको लगता नहीं है जो आप कह रहे हैं कि कुछ लोगों ने किया, कुछ लोगों ने ये करके सारा फोकस सिर्फ इसी स्लोगन पे कर दिया, उनका प्रोटेस्ट के राइट को कोई नहीं उस पे सवाल उठा रहा है। व्हाई शुड यू टेक दैट लैंग्वेज, दिस काइंड ऑफ लैंग्वेज?
आप उमर खालिद को जस्टिस दीजिए ना। Why don't you comment on the laxity of Delhi police? This is a wonderful channel. You are a great anchor. Why don't you, for a change, say that
because
yes,
Vivek,
Delhi
every
police
day I don't need to come and justify what I do in front of you. Yesterday you should have watched the show. We questioned the whole basis of the judgment. We questioned the legality and the basis on which it's standing. So please don't come and tell me why don't I do X, Y, Z, because I don't need to justify every day what I do with you. I just have a simple question to you. Is there a justification to these slogans?
Yeah. Yes, it is completely justified. Well, Kapil Mishra is out and Umar Khalid is in jail for 5.5 years. The students, वो बच्चे हैं.
Then let me ask you this again. What Delhi's current law minister had said, a controversial statement. Vivek, hold on, listen to the question. What Delhi's law minister, Kapil Mishra, because you named him, what he had said in 2020 before the riots, a controversial statement. You don't condone that, right?
Yes.
You think that's a that's a statement that should be condemned by everybody?
I see. No.
If that is wrong, how does it make what these students have said right?
15 times parole. Gurmeet Ram Rahim has 15 times parole. And Mr. Umar Khalid,
you are changing the goalpost. I asked you, if you have, Vivek, it is double standards. It is hypocritical. If you don't think what Kapil Mishra said can be condoned, then there is no way what these students have said can be condoned.
No, there is a difference. Kapil Mishra is a seasoned politician, has been a minister, fighting elections, speaking for the ruling party. आप कहाँ बच्चों से किसको compare कर रहे हैं? कैसे कंपेयर कर रहे हैं?
These बच्चे are also learning the tricks of politics. Many of them have gone ahead and become politicians. So what is wrong? They are both citizens of India. The law is same for everybody. The law and morality is same for everybody. Vivek, come on.
सुनिए सर, मेरी पार्टी के खिलाफ, हमारे लोगों के खिलाफ अगर एबीवीपी के बच्चे कल नारे भी लगाएंगे, मैं सीरियस धाराएं उनके खिलाफ कभी लगने के
वो आपकी मर्जी है सर, वो आपकी मर्जी है, पर उसका मतलब ये नहीं ना कि कोई कुछ भी बोलेगा और उसको कंडोन करेगा. You know, Shikha, let me ask you this then. While it is hypocritical on Vivek's part, it is also hypocritical on the part of the ABVP and those who are now saying that they will go and register an FIR against what these students have said. There have been multiple provocative speeches, nare, which have come from people, whether it is, from the BJP or others. No action has been taken against them.
Hello. Yes, sir. I completely agree. In contemporary political situation that we see around us, there are a lot of statements by seasoned politicians sometimes that we see, which are very derogatory for us as students to, see or hear in this campus, which are completely condemnable, and action must be taken. But what I see in this campus, what I see around me in this campus, when I hear they say, for example, in 2019 or 20, Bhagwa Jalega, on the statue of Vivekananda, I've seen that in front of my eyes, people writing it down. I have seen communist cadres of this campus running behind us with the stones and pelting stones on us. I've seen in this campus, I've faced that, been a victim of that. I've seen in this campus, and people like here, when I come on this debate and I see people like justifying it is normal. आपको लग रहा है कि ये आप वही स्टेटमेंट दे रहे हैं कि बच्चे हैं, गलतियां हो जाती हैं. This is where you promote your student activists कि हाँ आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. आज today you start
At
with
least
a
I'm glad. At least I'm glad as a student, those of JNU, somebody who though may not agree with what the students have done, but Vivek. Look at her. She's saying that she condemns the statements, even if it is made by seasoned politicians, those who are also belonging from the BJP. You can also show some grace and, in fact, at least come to the fact that, two wrongs don't make a right.
It is not about grace. It is not.
Hold on, ma'am. Hold on, ma'am. Let Vivek respond. Hold on. Let Vivek respond.
No. Is she ready to criticize Kapil Mishra today, right now, for his statements? And will she equate that Kapil Mishra should also have been, जिस तरीके से 5 साल
Can you say out?
Kapil Mishra का trial होना?
Sorry to interrupt in between. Can you say that chicken neck, the statement regarding chicken neck, cutting off chicken neck from India was a valid statement? Can you say that about Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam? Can you say that, sir?
गलत स्टेटमेंट है तो उसके लिए चार्जशीट फाइल करिए, इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग रिपोर्ट क्लोज करिए और जो सजा देनी है दीजिए. आप उसको पेंडिंग नहीं रख सकते.
This is the problem. I think this is the problem. The whole point is to go on a debate and make this kind of a television debate and just try and oppose everything, try and be on a contrary point just to in fact make those views. That doesn't work. The fact is that two wrongs don't make it right. Students have all the right to protest. But the kind of language that they've been speaking, that language cannot be condoned. And if anybody else does that, when you have a problem with people, those who like, you've been mentioning some examples here, if you have a problem with that, then you should have a problem with this. What it also does, it delegitimizes genuine concerns of the students, whether they are from left or right, because some of them stand and make these statements, which then in fact steal all the spotlight from the issues that they want to highlight. I'm sorry, I thought that today at least you would take a stand where you would condone this, but there is no way, Vivek, it's just not about getting some views or on Twitter and so forth. The fact is that there is a limit, there is a decency, right? There is some morality attached. If these students, if they are only learning from what they think that is wrong, and in that context you want to justify it, it's a very bleak future of politics that we are looking at, Vivek.
Sayyid Alisha Gilani came to Delhi University to give a lecture, and her super seniors in the ABVP, they gherowed. It was given the government permission, the police permission was there, the auditorium was barged into, beatings took place, attack on him happened, right? Should that be justified? It should not be justified. But then you have to see it from the perspective that these are not seasoned criminals. They are students of ABVP. They are students of the left.
Vivek, the fact is, I gave you enough opportunity, my friend, but I think you're just used to going on television channels and just taking a contrary view for the point of, clickbait or TRP or the views that will come on Twitter. That's not the point. The whole, my friend, with due respect and regard, nothing and nobody can be condoned speaking in this language. If we do not like others speaking in that way, at least have the gumption and the strength of the morality of your character to come out and condone this and then give me other examples of how everybody else is also wrong. I'll leave it there. Thank you so much to both of you for joining me. As I said, the focus should be on the issues. Students have all the right to go ahead, protest and raise their voice. But it has to be in certain limits of morality and decency. You can't go on speaking ill. You can't wish for somebody's death. That is something which is unacceptable.